This is the last thing I'm finna say. The man posting the baby and not posting you, and you posting the man and not posting the baby, is all I need to know. The cleanup that Evelyn played on her Instagram, good job, Grandma. The grandmother's the baby at this point.
I know that people talk about us because of the show, who would date, you know, whatever's happening in our lives. But it's always interesting for me, and I talked about this recently, for me to read the stuff about myself that are just false.
Shanice, the daughter of Evelyn Lozada, was just the victim of the game's disappearance. Evelyn is not taking it lightly, to put it mildly. It is going to be an entire movie when she pops off. Here's the deal then. Shanice and the game had been drawing attention for some time. Although it initially appeared that they were deeply in love, if you are familiar with the game's past, you are aware that he has not exactly had the best relationship record. He has a history of seducing women, making lofty promises, and then disappearing. Unfortunately for Shanice, she ended up being his most recent victim. This is where things get tricky though. Rumor has it that the game let her in, gave her hope that they would succeed, and completely changed course when things become serious. And here's the thing, unlike other people, he did not simply end things. You already know that Evelyn was not going to sit back and let things go. So he went all ghost mode and severed his ties while Shanice was still coping with the fallout from their relationship. She threw herself into it as soon as she learned about it, because if Evelyn is anything, she will stop at nothing to keep her kids safe.
This stuff is crazy to read. Anyway, my message got cut off. Anyway, the point is that, take the stuff you read with a grain of salt, and really think about you as a person, right? When you read things and you're passionate about it or you really believe it, you're saying, oh, okay, let me go to that person's page to really tell them about themselves.
Let us take a moment to go back in time. People were making fun of the game and Shanice's relationship when they initially started dating. Others believed Shanice was just another name on the game's lengthy list of flings, while others believed it to be love. And who could blame them, really, with his reputation? Thus, it appeared as though Shanice and the game had a sudden romance. He was all over Shanice 1 minute and living the life of a single playboy the next. They gave supporters the impression that something serious was developing when they were seen together at events and shared enigmatic comments on social media. But wait, things became more heated. Shanice at least believed that. She felt like she was the one because of the attention the game was giving her. It felt like he was really turning it on for her, and he is known for being incredibly charming. He made sure everyone knew she was on his radar with lavish presents, private dinners, and flirtatious posts that had everyone talking. Shanice first gave it her all. She was radiant, giving off the impression that she had discovered something true and was truly content whenever she was with Game. However, it was evident to everyone familiar with his past that this was his typical game. Before withdrawing when things become serious, he would do the same with other ladies, giving them just enough attention to make them feel important. Indeed, the game began to behave differently as soon as there were suspicions that Shanice wanted to escalate the game. Those who knew him well saw that he had changed. Game has a reputation for being hesitant, so this is where things become complicated. And that is precisely what took place here. According to sources, the game offered her the entire forever and always pitch before quickly changing it. He initially convinced her that they were creating something unique, but he disappeared when it was time to take charge. And it was more than just a breakup. It was outright ghosting. After spending 1 day together, it seemed as though Shanice had vanished from his mind. Nothing, no closure, no explanation. She was left bewildered, devastated, and wholly unprepared for the game's sudden silence. Let us face it, the game has performed a stunt before. He becomes involved, gives a lady a sense of security, and then leaves her to cope with the consequences. But Shanice's situation worsened. She had to deal with public humiliation in addition to the inner turmoil of the separation. The game did not simply vanish. Instead, he began to move on in public, and being dumped in front of the entire world is the worst thing that can happen. The game was spotted out and about, sharing pictures, hanging out with other women, and pretending that Shanice was never ever there. He was back to his normal routine while she was still trying to understand what had happened. He was flirting on the internet, leaving mysterious captions and making it obvious that he was not looking back. Do you know what follows? Evelyn was not going to overlook the fact that the game had harmed her daughter in this way.
This is the last thing I'm finna say. The man posting the baby and not posting you, and you posting the man and not posting the baby, is all I need to know. cleanup that Evelyn played on her Instagram, good job, Grandma. The grandmother's the baby at this point.
So, if you know anything about Evelyn, you are aware of her extreme protectiveness toward her family. She has established a reputation for being feisty and unafraid to express her opinions. You could tell she was about to snap when she discovered the game was playing tricks on her daughter. When Evelyn learned how the game handled Shanice, according to sources, she became quite enraged. And can you really blame her? It is one thing to go through a nasty breakup, but it is simply disrespectful to be ghosted like that, especially in public. And Evelyn had no intention of overlooking that. She didn't hold back, I tell you. The game chose the wrong person to meddle with, Evelyn made apparent. She made sure everyone knew she would not tolerate her kid being treated disrespectfully by calling him out and exposing his duplicitous actions. Rumor has it that Evelyn went into full-on mother bear mode and told her friends that she had never trusted the game in the first place. She felt uneasy about him, but since Shanice is an adult, she did not want to meddle in her affairs. However, when things went wrong, it was game over. To put it bluntly, she was not messing around when she approached the game. Evelyn is not the kind to be silent, you know. Whether it was through rumor or dubious social media posts, she made sure to show everyone what kind of man he truly is. The whole thing reminded me, to be honest, of the game's practice of dragging women along and then vanishing when it suited him. Although this is nothing new, Evelyn's main concern was keeping her daughter safe. But hold on, there is more to this. According to others, Shanice was aware of the risks involved with the game. According to rumors, she was searching for a come-up as much as love. We cannot be certain, but let us face it, the game has a history of leaving women hanging, so Shanice may have been a little naive to think she would be the exception. Some people believe Shanice saw a chance. There are benefits to dating a well-known rapper, including money, connections, and influence. She probably knew exactly what she was getting herself into, but it is also conceivable that she believed the game was serious about her. And that is when things become tricky, because some people believe Shanice was playing her own game, even if the game undoubtedly did her harm. Many people in the entertainment industry are vying for a bag, and some people think Shanice was not merely a victim. Rather, she was a willing participant who ultimately ended up getting burnt.
I love my kids, man. It's just, I don't know. I love them to death, man. I love them so much. I really do. So they like little me's walking around this mother here. You know what I'm saying? I love them to death. So I gotta have at least 2 more kids before I call it a wrap, man. I gotta do it. I got to do it, man.
The game hopped on Instagram and began posting some pretty crazy things just when you thought the turmoil was over. You know, those evasive signals that men send when they are feeling bad, but do not want to take responsibility for anything. Indeed, he was unquestionably in that zone. He wrote about unemployment in one of his first postings. When things go wrong, entitled ladies always have something to say, such as, keep up jobless, and entitled, dude, who are you referring to? For this to be random, the timing was far too shady. He then published a follow-up piece discussing how some ladies are only interested in cars for their benefits. Let us face it, the vacation gifts were giving me serious feelings of being played. He was not being subtle at all. He knew that everyone would assume he was talking about Shanice, whether he intended to stir things up or not. It certainly got people talking. Some fans praised him for his generosity in relationships, while others criticized him for being messy and immature. Come on, people, this dude is an adult. We are discussing this rather than simply going on in silence. Like a devastated teen, he was out there disparaging people on Instagram. Here's the kicker though. Evelyn Lozada had no intention of her daughter appearing to be a gold digger as a result of the game. Evelyn might have easily gone off on the game, as she has done with previous opponents. But this time she chose a different path rather than getting caught up in the drama. She made it apparent that her family was her top priority. Let me tell you, she made sure that everyone knew she was in a terrific place by jumping on social media to celebrate the birth of her grandson, Blaze Taylor. With blessings and affection all around, it seemed as though she was saying, you may have dumped my daughter, but we're good over here. And honestly, we love to see it. Because at the end of the day, Evelyn knows how this industry works. She's seen relationships come and go. She knows that the best form of retaliation is not always clapping back because she has experienced nasty breakups in the past. While the game was out here, her message was very apparent. Like a resentful ex, she posted because she was focused on her family, which is how you truly win in circumstances like this.
Did whatever I had to do to, put my hand in the middle of, helping out Flint when I was chose to, man. So I always try to, help out.
Let us face it, was the game incorrect in the way he handled the situation? Making someone feel special, guiding them along, and then vanishing like a magician? It is not a nice look, I agree. The question is, though, was Shanice only an innocent victim in this whole situation? Or was the game playing checkers, and she was playing chess? Not to mention that there are benefits to dating a well-known rapper, and some people believe Shanice was well prepared from the start. Ultimately, this is a nasty issue, and we know Evelyn is not going to overlook it anytime soon. Game might want to reconsider if he believed that this drama was done. I must now ask you all, was Shanice attempting to lock in that information, or was the game in the wrong? And did Evelyn go too far, in your opinion? Or was she merely acting like a protective mother bear? For all the newest tea, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave your opinions in the comments section.